Sawadee Cup and welcome to the Funkit Pod in your area. You can see from the title, of course, what we're talking about today. So, welcome to all the media mavens, pop culture connoisseurs, and whatnot. You, as you know, tuned into the Funkit Pod. And today, in this episode, we're going to toss the media salad a little bit with a little bit of banter, maybe simply because the topic is there's so much hype about it. There was so much hype about it. Still is. I don't know. I just cannot take it without banter. So please excuse if there are like a few bad jokes here and there. So what's today's flavor about? Well, it's a bit of a zesty blend of like K-pop and I'm proud of this, K-pop and kerfuffle. I was looking very long for like a K word, non-native speaker, as you know. So I was happy to find the word kerfuffle. I hope I pronounced it correctly. So we're going to try to unravel the tangled tale of Lisa today. Lisa from BLACKPINK, of course, in your area. Well, maybe she's not in your area for much longer because, well, let's be honest, something happened over the past few weeks with Lisa from BLACKPINK in your area. I cannot do it with in your area. I have to say it. So let's not like waste any more time. I'm stumbling all my words because so much excitement. Let's dive deep into the digital drama that's all about Lisa from BLACKPINK. Let's go. So let's set the stage first. Right, the stage, Paris. Yeah, where fashion. What else do they have? Fine dining. Even as a German, I disagree sometimes. Okay, fashion, we've got fine dining, and now a full-blown media fiasco that all converges in the capital of France. Lisa's recent performance at the Crazy Horse was meant to, I don't know, I guess to dazzle. Like, you'd be like, oh, wow, crazy. But instead, it sparked a blaze of, like, backlash in certain areas. For example, most notably, of course, in China. So China's social media sphere has put up the no Lisa allowed sign, if you will, okay? With like Weibo, I think, giving her like the digital boot, so to speak, right? It's like, Lisa's gone. It's a case of like, is it a cultural faux pas or is it censorship with like the capital C? Not sure. Let's dive into it, right? So the plot kind of thickens when you look at like what do people on the internet say actually. Like, so the netizens, they split into like different camps, as it always is the case when someone gets cancelled, right? The defenders and the defectors, right? So her moves may have been like straight from like the book of burlesque. I did my research this time around, right? But the response was like more, let's be honest, more like puritanical panic than applause. The thing is, I'm not quite sure if she really expected people to go like, yay, good job being like risky, burlesque, or I'm not sure what she thought might happen, right? But let's not, I don't know, sugarcoat it or anything. Like the hardcore fans of Lisa, the Lisa loyalists, if you will, because today it's all about like those metaphors, they cry foul, right? And the critics, of course, they sharpen the digital pitchforks, like ready to go, because, well, that's what they've been waiting for, right? It's a bit of a cyber showdown that's obviously got the keyboard warriors all ready. The keyboards are clacking, tempers flaring. Let's go to war, right? And as the virtual dust settles, yeah, we see quite a few after effects that ripple out now. And for example, the brands, right? Those high fashion houses of haute couture, some of them are sidestepping the Lisa landmine with the grace of like a gazelle avoiding a predator. Let's see for how long it goes, right? But they're like sidestepping Lisa right now at every angle. It's a delicate dance, if you will, of like image and association, right? Like a masquerade, like where every participant is keenly aware of the eyes upon them, right? Because everyone's looking at them. Like, what are they doing? What is Bulgari doing? How are they handling the whole Lisa thing, right? And in the world of like brand alliances right now, it's love one day and then the other day it's like, see ya, And because, well, it's all about the brand's image, of course, the brand's brand. It's a tough world we live in, right? And if you look at a little bit of the cultural context and what we do here, of course, media theories, right? So we're going to swap my head right now, the news heads for, and this is what happened to like the philosopher rope, if you will, to I don't know, try to make sense of it a little bit more, right? So in the grand tradition of cultural analysis, what we do here a lot, right? We turn to Edward Hall. Why not turning to Edward Hall? We haven't mentioned him in a while. And he talks about high and low context culture, right? So if you have ever taken a media class or communications class, you probably talked about Edward Hall, low context culture. And this gives us a peek into why Lisa's performance might actually ruffle some feathers. Yeah? Especially in a country where it's not what's said is just as important as what is like implied, right? Because so for a German, I'm from Germany, right? Most of you might know if you've watched a few previous episodes and you hear from my accent. So it's very important, like the words. But living in Asia, I realized high-low context. What you don't say is also very important, right? So that's just a case here as well, I believe. It's a cultural tightrope that you're trying to walk and balance all the time. And Lisa's act in this case was like a gust of wind on the tightrope that had her wobbling quite a bit, I believe, right? And it's not only a whole theory of high and low context culture, it's also McLuhan, like Marsh McLuhan, the global village. We're probably familiar with that, right? His prophecy, we live in a global village, don't be the idiot, to his quote, right? His vision of like the world like connected by the electric speed of communication, right? And he anticipated like cultural collisions based on that connectedness. And that's what's happening, right? The international stardom of K-pop, like Lisa being one of the biggest stars in the world, it's just a testament to that connectedness. Right? It's not just in South Korea. It's not just in Thailand, because Lisa is from Thailand actually, but it's everywhere. She's a global mega superstar, right? And so now Lisa's situation illustrates that the global stage, just because you're a global superstar, doesn't mean a unified audience. Okay, so just because you're a global superstar doesn't mean that obviously everybody everywhere loves you all the same. So each corner of that global village, even though we're all connected, right? But each corner has like its own norms and regulations, rules, and the people in those corners of the global village, they're not afraid to voice those norms and those opinions, which is their right, of course, right? And that also comes with this connectedness in the global village. So now the question is, of course, like the people working for Lisa, right? Like media professionals, like how can they reconcile these cultural divides that are bound to happen, right? Like they're gonna happen more often probably. She's 20-something, she's gonna like, I know, hopefully not fall off the tightrope, but wobble more often probably, right? So it's let's stick with the metaphor, right? So it's a balancing act of respecting those diverse cultural sensibilities, I believe, while of course still keep pushing the envelope of entertainment, because of course you want to grow as an entertainer, you want to try different things, right? It's more or less, so it's about, like, in my opinion, about crafting like the messages that resonate across borders without getting lost in translation, or worse, than maybe even causing like international incidents, right? So in the digital age, a tweet, an X post can be a diplomatic envoy or like a declaration of war, right? And so, of course, Lisa's not declaring a war on anyone, but I think if she just finds or would have found a way in this specific case to frame it a little bit differently, and not just would have gone there like, yep, that's her right now, and now she's doing those burlesque things, maybe the framing would have helped understanding what she's doing and why she's doing it. Okay. That leads me also to like then now maybe brand relationships and the image management a little bit, right? So if you just go away from the catwalk and move over to the commerce, making money and so on, where brand image, of course, is king, and controversy is kind of like, let's be honest, the jester, right? So luxury brands, of course, that once like clamored for a piece of Lisa's star power are now treating her like she's gone out of fashion, right? Well, like, well, who are you? What? We gave you a watch, we gave you jewelry. What? I can't remember what. No, it wasn't me. Yeah, this is right now is really like a great case study in the fickleness of fame, if you will, right? Yesterday's muse becomes today's misstep. You know? So the corporate choreography of like endorsements is always in motion. It's not just because right now you're the hot thing, you're gonna be the hot thing forever, right? And sometimes in this choreography, it's maybe just a step back, and maybe it's just necessary. But let's keep peeling back that curtain, right? That velvet curtain a little bit more. Like, is this right now? Like the brand dropping Lisa or stepping away from Lisa? Is that like a retreat by those fashion and luxury titans, or is like the clock just striking midnight on the fairy tale of Lisa? It's like, okay, you had so much fun, so much success. Now, what was it? And here we can look at like Goffman's concept of face work in like, which is in full display here, I believe. Like brands, right? They juggle the masquerade of like maintaining prestige with the practicalities, of course, of the market sentiment, right? You try to juggle this all. And the spotlight is bright, of course, but it casts a very, very long shadow where like public relations battles are fought, obviously, right? Like, how do people perceive us? And in the background, there's the murmur of like contracts nearing their end and the gentle hum of like business as usual, like, hey, if the contract expires and let's just move on to something else. And so perhaps these brands are like merely right now shedding their old skin. Like, okay, Lisa, we had some fun for the last 2-3 years, ready to don new faces, right? For the next season, there's like, I don't know, an infinite amount of even K-pop stars just waiting to jump in to the spotlight, right? So the drama then is just another act in the grand play of fashion, for example, where exits are as important as entrances, right? So maybe also Lisa realized, hey, maybe like this K-pop thing, now there are so many new ones coming in. Maybe I need to do something else. I need to get some more attention. Maybe that was even planned. Okay. So it's not just about the clothes and sticking with the fashion, right? It's the story they tell and the company they keep. And the same thing goes now, like, for Lisa, how she tells that story, of course. So, the implications here, right? So where does this leave like us now as media people, right? Why do we look at like what's happening with Lisa? Like, because we are supposedly the architects of public perception, right? So this is again a masterclass in cultural literacy. And a reminder that global reach does not grant immunity from local customs. Okay, that's one. So it's a dance of like diplomacy, where like every step, every beat, every note must be like very carefully orchestrated to avoid missteps that might echo across the world. Again, maybe that misstep was even calculated because she wants to do something else. And now if she wants to go to Hollywood, for example, they're going to be all about it. No? But is it worth like sacrificing your Chinese fan base for it? You have to make this decision. So the lesson here, I think, is pretty clear. Okay, navigating the digital domain requires like a map of the world's cultural contours, if you will. Yeah, one must be savvy, and what's how do you call it in English? Cartography, is it? Like, you must be like a savvy cartographer. It sounds so German when I say it, but I think that's the right word. Like, so you chart the course that respects boundaries, right? And bridges the divides, right? And when the tides turn, as they very often do, unfortunately, the true skill lies in like steering the conversation, not capsizing under the waves of the public outcry, for example. Okay. And lastly, let's not discount what I just said, the value of a very well executed exit strategy. And knowing when to hold them, sure, but also knowing when to fold them. It's not just for card players, it's for anyone who plays like the high stakes game of media relations, okay? In an era where like every social media post can be scrutinized, I think the art of graceful departure is as crucial as the grand entrance. And maybe that's just something that Lisa is working on right now. Because that brings me to the end of today's like media odyssey, if you will. Yeah, we traverse the terrain of like controversy, and we sail the sea of cultural complexity. We witness the walls, and I'm almost done with brand image. So as we part ways right now, remember in the digital dance of media, Rhythm is everything, says the German with no rhythm because we clap on 1 and 3. So if you miss a beat, you're just 2 left feet. So until next time, keep your media minds sharp, your humor, if you found it funny already, and your heart in the right place. As always, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, leave a review. That would be really cool. Tell your friends about me talking about Lisa BLACKPINK in your area. And until then, keep dancing, keep jiving, keep having fun. We talk soon. Sawadee ka.